What's going on? What's going on? What's going on YouTube? Is your boy Royal King Brian, aka Brian, and I am back with another live, y'all. So you guys can see I got my Brooklyn, New York hat on because it's playoff time. And even though I am in California and I love California, California has been treating me great. I'm a New Yorker at heart. So Brooklyn, right? You saw my hair is crazy, which is why I have a hat on right now. But let's get straight to it, y'all. Let's get straight to it. I'm coming back with another live. It's gonna be another like 10 minutes, 15 minutes video. And today's topic, as you guys can see by the title, is the new American dream. The new American dream. Now, what is the new American dream? You don't know? Shoot. Well, first we got to cover what's the old American dream. What's the American dream in the American dream era that I grew up with? What is that? If you know, leave it down in the comment section. So, what is the American dream? Buying a house. The American dream, when you look, what is it that everybody that comes to America wants? They want to own a home, right? They want to own a home. Not rent a home, they want to own a home, right? You want to own something that's yours. You want to own a house. You want to own a nice car. You want to own a nice car. That's the American dream. That's why so many people leave their country, because they don't have the money to buy a house. They don't have the money to afford to buy a nice car. They want a good job with 401k and benefits, right? The old American dream, what is that? They want a job that is going to give them some steady income, that they could go clock in, clock out, and they do that until they retire. If you're 18, you be working until you're 65. If you have a job that lets you retire early, you start at 18, you retire in your 50s. So you'll be working for 40 years, right? American dream. Owning a house, it takes 30 years to pay off a mortgage, right? Owning a car only lasts about 10 years. So every 10 years, you might have to buy a new car, right? What is the old American dream? Getting a job, going to college, becoming whatever it is that you go to college for, right? Doing 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years in some professions, right? American dream. Well, I know a lot of people now that I'm older and I'm in my 30s, right, who have achieved that American dream, who have gotten the nice car, that have gotten the nice house, that have graduated from college, right? They did the 4 years, they did the 6 years. I even know a person I was just talking to yesterday, and this is how we got in this conversation. She's been in school for 8 years, just got her degree, honor roll, A+ student, just got laid off from her job. She spent 8 years working towards, just got laid off, right? What is the old American dream? Basically, the American dream, it looks amazing. It looks great. You own a house, you own a car, you have a job, right? You have a family, right? And then, you get a nice job, you work 40 years and you retire, and then you spend the last 60 to 80 years, just relaxing, vacation, drinking some wine, even though you shouldn't be drinking too much because now you're a little older, high blood pressure, high sugar, cholesterol, all that stuff, right? So that is the old American dream. Do people still want that? Do people still want that in 2021? Do people still want to own a nice home? Take 30 years to pay it off? Do people still want to own a car for 8 years, 5 years? Now they have 84-month loans. What people don't tell you about the old American dream is that you don't own any of those things in that time frame. Yeah, you got a house, you got a mortgage, right? Let's say you buy a house. You don't own that house. Unless you buy the house in cash, you do not own that house. The bank owns that house. So, okay, you might have your name on the paper, but the bank's name is also on that paper, because most likely, especially from the people watching my videos, you ain't pay cash for your house. So yeah, you have a house, you have a mortgage, but now what owns you? You own a house, but the bank owns your money, right? The bank owns your money, because if you stop making payments on that house that you own, the bank's going to take it back. So do you actually own that house? Is that yours? Something that could get repossessed, is that yours? This jacket, for example, is mine, right? I paid what, $40 for it? No one could take it from me. If they take it from me, it's stealing, but they can't legally take it, right? If you own a house, 30-year mortgage, and let's say you refinance, now it's going to take you 40 years. Do you own that house? You don't own it. The bank owns it. The bank owns your future money. What you are going to work for, you're going to a job, right? Going to a job, you're getting paid to give the bank your money. So you go to work, job is going to pay you. You get that money, like, okay, I got my money, but no, you got the bank's money because every month the bank needs that, right? That's just a house. A car, right? A car. You get a nice car. You know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy this car off. I'll buy this car. It's gonna be lit. I have the freedom to travel wherever I want. But unless you buy the car in cash, you buy the car in full, you don't own that car. Just like the house, if you stop making payments on that car, the bank will come and repossess your car. Now, do you really own that car? The bank owns that car. And now the bank owns two things of yours. It owns your mortgage, because now whenever you get paid, your money, you got paid is yours, your money. You have to give it to the bank for the mortgage, right? Now you get paid again. Now you got to give it to the bank for your car. Because if you stop paying that car payment, buy a car, right? So do you really own that car? This is what people don't tell you when they say the American dream, right? Go out there and chase the American dream. Get your American dream. Anybody can do it. Yeah, anybody can do it. But do you actually want to do it? Now let's talk about school, one of my favorite subjects, right? So you go to school, you graduate, right? Yeah, the degree is yours. Definitely yours. Whatever degree you majored in, once you have it, it's definitely yours. But if you took out student loans, which most people that go to college do, the degree's yours. They can't take the degree back, but they're definitely going to take that money back, right? So now you're going to work. Give me some money. Mortgage. Going to work again. Car payment. Going to work again. I got to pay off my student loans now, right? And what's crazy is that, I don't know if you saw this in the news or not, 75% of people that go to college end up taking a job that they don't need a college degree for. So basically, you would have been better off. 75% of people, not everybody, 75%, which is majority of people, end up taking a job that they never needed college for, right? I know people right now that have a master's degree that work Uber. I know people right now, and it's not just one, that have degrees and they work at jobs that no one cares if you have a degree or not, right? So you're better off just not going to school, not taking that student loan, and having the same job. You was going to get the same pay, and you wouldn't owe any money. You could get that money and actually keep it in your pocket, put it in your pocket. But nah, majority of the people, we're taught to go to school, get a degree. So now here's school and be paying that off for another like 30 years. And majority of people that get a lot of people that get their bachelor's and master's, majority, and again, this is not for everybody, but majority of the people, they will be paying that off until they die, right? Because if you keep making the minimum payment, it's going to take you forever to pay it off, right? So that's another thing. And those are the three main subjects that we're going to talk about. That's the old American dream. What is the new American dream? I don't know about you guys, but I know a lot of people in my generation, my age, people that I hang around with now, right? Our new American dream is not the same thing. We don't want the same thing. We want a house. We want a nice car, right? We want some income. But you see how I said we want income? I didn't say we want a job. And why is that? Because I don't want to work 30 years. I'm 30 right now. Let's say I get a mortgage today. I'm going to be paying that mortgage off till I'm 60 years old. I don't want to work for another 30 years. I have to give my money every single month for 30 years away. We already pay taxes. That's giving it away, right? Sales taxes, giving it away, right? So a lot of people my age in their 30s, and this is an article on CNBC and Forbes, they rent. Right now, we have a nice house. We have a nice house, nice sink, nice countertop, nice ceiling, nice lamp, whatever, right? We own a nice home, bigger home than I ever had in New York. We don't own this house, right? We don't own it. So that means the second, yeah, I'm paying rent every single month. I'm paying rent every single month. But that's not my guarantee. That's not how much I have to pay every single month forever for the next 30 years. I could downsize, right? I could be like, hey, you know what? I don't really want a house this big no more. Maybe when I'm 20 years from now, 15 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't want a house this big, right? I could get a house that's a lot smaller. I could go back to a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And pay less and give less of that money away. So it's a little flexibility. When you own a mortgage, whatever your mortgage is going to be that regardless. Now you can say rent goes up and down, but yeah, I could also move up and down places. I could also travel and go to a studio apartment, right? So the freedom to choose how much you want to give your money away, because you're giving your money away regardless, right? You're giving your money away regardless. But when you rent, the benefit of renting a home, so you get a nice home, and the second you be like, you know what, this home is not nice for me. This home is not, it's not really it for me. You could just get up. You don't have to break a contract. You don't have to negotiate to sell. You just tell your landlord, hey, I need 30 days to go. I'm going somewhere else, right? That was the benefit of renting my studio apartment in New York. I just got up and left, went to California. I live in a place in California now. If I ever want to get up and move again, I could do it, right? I don't need to negotiate price. I don't need to 30 years. Like, damn, I'm going to be paying this much in mortgage for 30 years. My rent is my rent right now, but my rent could change depending if I want to, not if the bank wants to, right? Owning a car. I've owned a car already, right? Haven't had that many cars, but I have owned a car. I have 2 cars. But one thing that I've learned is, like I said, I'm working for a car that is depreciating in value. I like it. I like it. I like it. I was paying that car off, and I was that steady payment all the time. That steady payment. I would get some income, give my income away. Get some income, give my income away. Get some income, giving it to the bank, right? Because if I stop paying that car loan, I no longer have a car. So was the car really mine? So what I decided to do this time is to lease my car. I decided to lease my car and give that a try. And I can tell you right now, I've only leased my car for like 2 weeks and I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Why do I love leasing over owning the car? Because you don't really own it, right? One, I don't own the car. The car is basically like a rental. I'm renting the car out for 2 years and then I could give it back. So I have a certain amount of month that I have to pay to rent the car, right? But I don't have to pay that for 5 years. I don't have to pay that for 6 years. I don't have to pay that for 8 to 10 years. I have to pay that for 2 years. And if I want to, I could end my contract a year and a half in. If I want to, I could end my contract a year and a half in. So let's say something goes bad, right? Let's say you own a car, which is what happened to me, right? I owned my car. I bought my car 5 years ago. I had gotten laid off from a job. One of the jobs ended up closing. The other job that I had closed because of the pandemic, right? So what didn't happen was that I can't call my bank and be like, hey, bank, pandemic happened. I can no longer make the car payment. The bank was going to be like, you got to give me my money because we already paid up front for this. Now you have to pay me back for the car, right? So what I like about leasing is if something happens from now, I don't need to have a car payment for 5 years. I could do it for a year and a half, 2 years, right? Get rid of it. I don't need it. My girl has a car too. So like I could just ride with her if I want to. Right now, this is an option. I'm choosing to pay for the car, right? So leasing, beneficial. Also, what I like about leasing, I don't need to pay for the oil change. I don't need to pay if anything breaks. My old car was running amazing, but anytime something happened to it, I would have to pay for it because I'm the owner, which is weird because you don't really own it. The bank owns it, but the bank doesn't pay your oil change. The bank doesn't pay your tires when you pop a tire. You have to do that. So even though you don't really own the car, you're responsible for it. Now I'm leasing. I have a car. I'm not responsible for it. If it needs to get an oil change, BMW is gonna pay for it. If it needs to get a tire replacement, BMW replaces it. If I need a wheel alignment, BMW replaces it. That's their problem. I just get to drive the car, right? And then my favorite subject again, school, college, right? So here's my thing with college. If you're going to be a doctor, you should go to college. You probably need to go to college. If you want to be a lawyer, there are ways around it, but yeah, college is the way to go. If you don't want to do any of those things, you do not need to go to college in order to land the job that you actually want. If you want to work in human resources, network. Network. Why are you going to put yourself in a situation where you finally land the job and now you're like, damn, I landed the job. I'm getting the salary that I want to get, but I have to give all this money away to student loans. Why? I had people in my previous job, right? I was making more income than that. I was making more income than they were. And I didn't have to graduate college. I kept my money, right? I had to give my car payment, whatever, but there's people that went to college and got a master's degree, and I was out earning them. I was making more than they did. And they have to give their income away. Every time they got paid, they had to give it to the school. Most people, like I said, 75% of the people land jobs that they do not need a college degree for. So you want a degree just to say that you have it, but you got to think about how much money are you giving away. One of the things that I've learned about financial literacy is not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. There's people that can make $100,000 a year, and you're like, man, they make $100,000 a year, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. There's people that can make $30,000 a year. Trust me, I know. There's people that can make $30,000 a year, and they have more money than people making 100 because they only spend $10,000 of it. They still get to keep $20,000 every single year. They pocket more money. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. It's people that can make $1 million, and you're like, man, you see a lot of celebrities actually, they make millions and millions of dollars, and they're still $1 million in debt, or they owe the IRS money. You're like, how do they make so much money, but they owe that much money? Because they spend it all. It's not how much money you make, it's how much money you keep, right? So if you do not need a college degree for your job, I don't think that you should go to college. Not because college is bad per se, because student loans is horrible. Now, if you could go to college without getting student loans, by all, go ahead, cool, because college you can network, college you can meet people, get new experiences, but I don't think personally, I don't think that the student loans part is worth it, right? So what is the new American dream after I said all this? Freedom, right? Freedom. But I know when I was telling people I want to move to California, it's for the freedom, right? In New York, you can't really get around without having to take the train, without having to take the bus. And if you have a car, you have to pay for parking. You have to. The have to part is the part that bothers most people. I don't have to work at a job to make a certain amount of money. I don't have to have a college degree to make a certain amount of income. I don't have to own a car in order to drive a nice car. I don't have to have a mortgage in order to live in a nice house. So you get what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying, then awesome, that's good for you. If you don't get what I'm saying, you should probably rewatch this again, or you just might not agree, and it's cool. Not everybody has to agree. But if you don't have to do something to get the results, then don't do it, right? You could still live in a nice apartment, in a nice house, in a nice condo, in a nice complex without having to own it, get the benefits of it, right? You don't have to give your money away. You choose to. You don't have to own a nice car in order to drive a nice car. You could lease it. You don't have to have a college degree and be in student loan debt for another 40 years when you can just get certified or go to a job that's going to pay you the same amount without having a college degree, right? Right now, I know Google doesn't require any college degree. Amazon doesn't require any college degree. Tesla doesn't require any college degree. Facebook doesn't require any college degree. And there are more and more jobs like this, right? So if you're like, oh, my goal is to make $60,000 a year, and you owe student loans, that 60,000, you're probably only making 40 because you got to give 20,000 away until you pay that off. Now, if your salary is 60,000 and you don't owe anything, you get to keep 60,000, and that's basically my point. So the new American dream to me is freedom, the flexibility to decide how much money after I get paid I want to give away. Some people are in this cycle forever. They've been giving their money away for years. And that's why they have nothing to show for it. Now, if you agree, awesome. If you don't agree, it's awesome too. It's all right. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But yeah, I just wanted to give mine. That's the new American dream, y'all. Thank you to the 4 people that have been watching. Thank you to all the likes. Not sure. Oh, no, I haven't told y'all yet. So I have a new website coming out. I have a new website coming out. If you try to go to my old website, it is down because I am rechanging my website. I'm rebranding my business, and I'm going to be relaunching my business at 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you haven't given the video a thumbs up. If you agree, let me know in the comment section what you agree with. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section what you disagree with. It's okay. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn different perspectives about different people, about different ways of thinking, right? So it's your boy Royal King Brian, aka Brian. And check out my red light, y'all. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Royal King Brian, aka Brian. Y'all already know the vibes, Dynasty. Peace, y'all.